Shalom, welcome to Halacha Time. Today's question before us: can a child immerse vessels in a mikvah? This question is addressed in Shulchan Aruch Yoreh De'ah, Mark 120. There, Maran brings the opinion that he attributes to the Trumat HaDeshen. I will try to explain this according to the understanding of the Gaon Mivilna. We first have to ask the question: what is the nature of the commandment to immerse new vessels, new forks, knives, plates, anything used for direct contact with our food in a mikvah? If it is a commandment of the Torah, then the only person who can effectively fulfill that commandment is someone who is obligated to do that commandment. Generally speaking, children are not obligated in the commandments, and therefore, even if they were to perform the act that looks like a commandment, they have not actually performed that commandment. Why is this important? Because when an adult who is obligated in the commandment needs to actually achieve the performance of the commandment, a child cannot do it on his behalf. Normally, that would be the end of the story. But in the case of the vessels that need to be dunked in the mikvah, there's another factor. And that is, perhaps, it's less about someone performing this commandment and more about having these vessels end up being immersed in a mikvah. For example, we cite a case of someone who was walking on a bridge over a lake, a body of water that naturally can serve as a mikvah, and he dropped his new kelim directly into the lake. Technically speaking, he has immersed those kelim. It's less about the one performing the immersion and more about the fact that these vessels, kelim, have to end up being immersed in the water. Therefore, it's possible that a child could have performed the immersion. The language of the Shulchan Aruch in, we said, Mark 120, Seif Yudalid, is Ein ma'aminin katan al tfilat kelim. We don't trust a minor, a child, to have done this properly. That is, if a child were to come and tell us that he immersed these kelim in a mikveh, we don't believe him. Why? He may have done it, but he doesn't know all the halachot. He's not totally conscious of what he does, and therefore we don't really know if he did it right. So we can't trust him if he did it. However, the Ramah adds, Aval, im tivalo lifnei gadol have tefillah. If this child were to have immersed these vessels in the mikvah in front of an adult, a supervising adult, then he has achieved that immersion. Of course, he says this after the fact. That is, although a child should not be entrusted to perform this, if there was an adult supervising him, then technically speaking, the adult is capable of telling us that this dunk was done properly, this immersion. Now, of course, with regards to most commandments, it's always preferred if the adult is the one actually performing the commandment. However, we have another principle that we want to involve children in the performance of these commandments. It has an educational purpose. It's good for children to learn how to keep the commandments. And therefore, we should give children a chance to watch how this is done, somehow be involved. Maybe he can help his father put the kelim directly into the mikvah. But as far as before the fact, if we were asked, can a child immerse kelim in a mikvah, we would say he should not do so. If we were asked, oh, but the child did so, we'd then ask, was there an adult watching? If there was an adult supervising and can attest that it was done properly, then indeed the kelim do not need to be re-immersed into a mikvah.